Knon 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
We'd like to say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Knon 89.3 FM, the voice of the people. Got a lot of things going on, a lot of things, people to talk to, things to talk about. We have with us this morning, we're going to have Dr. Velvis Edwards and his daughter Isoka, his wife, the family is here. We're going to be hearing from him this morning, along with others, and just like to reflect on certain things that's going on in our community. We have some educational races coming up. That's going to be very, very interesting because in both races we're going to have the establishment versus a couple of populists. We have in the school board race, we have a young lady, Joyce Foreman. She is running, and the establishment is not supporting her, needless to say. And then you will have a young lady that has come along, and she's come from Irving and worked out there. She's running for the Dallas School Board, and also in your state Board of Education. Oh, yes. We have Miss Andrea Hilburn. She's running against a powerful, well-funded person also. So that's going to be it's going to be interesting to watch and see and hear what's going on with these elections. They're going to have a lot of effect on what will be going on in our city, because, as you know, there are those who wants to put the DISD under home rule, who wants to do away with the independence of the school district and would like to have it under our charter system. And we have a couple of I do know a couple of charter candidates that will be running. Those are non-charter. So then that State Board of Education race and that school board race. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. And Neil, we have anybody on line 4? Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. This is one, and we're going to be hearing from a young lady that's been a part of this program ever since she was a baby, but now she's a doctor. I'm proud of myself. Yes, the importance of fathers in one's life. We're going to get to it. It's okay. How old are you now?
I'm 25 now.
Now say that again.
I'm 25.
See, I was on there before you were born, and she was a little girl. It is so wonderful. But right now, we have, now I know I'm going to murder this name. Isoka, can you know what that is? I can't read it.
IPO.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's IPO.
IPO?
Augusta Econ.
Okay. Miss IPO Augusta Econ. Okay, thank you. Because I would have murdered it.
Augusta Econ.
Yes, ma'am. How are you this morning?
I'm doing very well. I'm being blessed.
Well, I saw that you had a fantastic rally downtown at City Hall. This young lady is from Nigeria. And
yes,
there's a great travesty that has happened in this country of Nigeria, that women, men, fathers, brothers, sons, whatever, ought to be totally outraged over, and we ought to be doing everything we possibly can. There were young ladies that were kidnapped and taken somewhere, I don't know. Could you tell us about the whole story? Where did all this happen? Who did it? Who you believe did it?
My name is Augusta Ikong. I'm from Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have the North and we have the South. The North is mostly Muslim and the South is mostly Christian. This happened when the girls were sleeping in the dormitory. It is very common in Nigeria when you are 12 years old, you are sent to the boarding school. It can be in your city or in your state. So the girls were sleeping in their boarding school, and at night, the Boko Haram is Islamic sect. They want to impose Islamic law into Nigeria because they feel that the Islam, when Islam and their traditional African culture were ruling, that Nigeria was doing well, that Nigeria was not corrupt. Nigeria had water, had electricity, had a good school and good roads. But now we have the politicians, they impose government by the Western wall. They take all the money to Switzerland and they made the country to go deplorable. So the Muslim wants Sharia law. So they took the girls across the board. We don't know whether they took them across the board. It happened in Chibok, in Borno State. So we don't know. These girls were about 300. Now they have found 276 is still missing. So we are looking for the girls. We want everybody, Dallas, Texas, United States, UK, Canada, Australia, all the people to help us bring our girls back. We want our girls to be back. Also, we want the corporate company, Shell, Chevron, ExxonMobil, all the corporate companies that have operated in Nigeria to join force in us and ask the Boko Haram to bring our girls back.
Okay, when we see this happening, you said that they want to implement Sharia law on all of Nigeria. They want this is a strict Islamic law.
All Nigeria, particularly in the north. In the north, the Sharia law is already in rule. They are using it in their court system.
Okay. Now, do you all know, you have no idea where these girls are?
Nobody knows where these girls are. And our government did not ask. So we don't know if they took the girls across the border to Cameroon or to Niger or to Chad. So we don't know. The forest is very thick and the armies are reluctant to fight. The armies are reluctant to face the Boko Haram. And another particular thing in Boko Haram, they are Muslim. According to the Muslim law, the army is mostly Muslim in Nigeria. They don't fight each other because they have the same blood. So they cannot kill each other.
All right. You don't have that many Christian soldiers?
No, we don't have. The army is being controlled by the Muslim and the top officials of the army of Nigeria. All the installation is in the north. All the leaders of the Nigeria have always come from the north. It is just of recent that we just have a few leaders. Jonathan, that is from the south, and Jonathan is not really from Nigeria because where he is from, it is where the swamp where we exported things outside. So we have people in and out from coming to Port Harcourt and Bayelsa, where they say he's from.
All right. Have the United States done anything that would say that they're really, to show that they're really interested in trying to find these young ladies?
Well, I don't know, because right now they are saying that the armies are defecting. The armies are not really wanting to fight, that they are surrendering among their ranks. So there is a lot of political rambling going on. There is more to it than what the Western world is seeing. There is more because these go way before the British colonization. It is more to it. It involves the minerals right, all the raw material and the commodities of Nigeria that went all the way to the Western world.
Okay. When they started with this, why would they take these young ladies? What are they doing with it?
They have bombed the churches, and they have bombed the bus station. They have bombed. They knew that nobody is going to. The people did not say something. So, but they knew when they take the young girls that the whole world attention will be on them. It is just attention seeking, and also it is just a awakening cause. They are not going to. I believe they are not going to harm the children, because in Islam, in Islamic world, they feed the women and the children, because the women and the children are the next generation, and so the children will be fine, because from the picture they release, it looks like the children are doing well.
Now, are they considered women or children? What are they considered? Because I've heard through reports that they might be given in marriage or sold off as slaves and everything. What are they really considered children, or what's the status on that?
According to the Islam, not even Islam, even in the South, when you were like 12 years old or 15 years old in the South, when you were young, you are being married. When once you have menstruation, they feel that you are ready to have a child. So some of the people that kidnap them may consider them like being a young woman.
So in other words, once you have their first menstrual cycle, they're considered a woman.
Exactly.
And probably, I have a doctor in here with me, well, two. By what age does the average young girl have their cycle?
Yeah, they usually start between 11 and 13.
11 and 13? and many of these girls was that age or older, correct?
Yes, they were mostly like 15, 16 years to 18.
So they are considered women.
Exactly.
So they could be murdered if they're not considered a child. But now I've also heard, I don't know how true it is, I hope you can correct this. They're being sold for a little as $12?
That's what they say they will sell the children. I'm not sure about that, if they have sold the children. We all have to breathe first, because from what is happening, coming out of the Northerners, from what is happening out of the elders of the Northerners, it seems like the elders of the Northerners know something. So we all have to be false about this, from the reporting that is coming out, because the North cannot be wrong. The North rules Nigeria. The North holds all the installations, and the North preserves Nigeria. Without the North, the South will not exist. The South is the one that stole the North. So we have to be very, very careful about selling, because in Nigeria, we are the... I-B-I-O, Ibibio and Efik. We didn't put it in the writing, because if we put it in the writing, they could have killed us. But the young children, when there is an important event happening, they take the young children to sit around and listen, so that it becomes the library and the future.
All righty. I tell you what, we want to keep this ever before the people. We want to keep this before the people, because if this happened in other countries, European nations especially, that would be such an uproar that they would have found those young ladies by now,
yes,
found those children.
Found those young ladies, yeah. But at the same time, we have to be very, very careful. We have to be very careful with Nigeria, because Nigerians cannot go wrong. Because Nigeria, we gave everything to the New World to start, and they refused to pay the royalties to us. So Nigeria was in the 80s and 70s. We dismantled all our industries, and we wait and wait, because we said that the New World will come and look for the raw materials, and that is happening. So we have to pause in this. We have to really, really be like great-great-grandmother, be like the elephant.
All right. Well, we thank you. We thank you for this information, and we're going to have you on periodically, because until these young ladies are found and these guys are brought to justice, we will not rest. We will not allow this issue to die.
Can I just say something? It is the politician that the Boko Haram should kidnap. The politician has stolen the country money. That we stay in Nigeria, we don't have electricity. We don't have good hospital. We don't have good school. We don't have good road. The politician has stolen the money to Switzerland and all over the world.
All the wealth, the politicians have stolen all the things that are vital to the survival of a people.
Exactly.
All right. I tell you what, I'm going to give us a short break, and I thank you, and may the Lord bless you, and I'll be calling you, and stay in contact with us. We're going to stay on top of this story. All righty?
Okay. Bring the girls back. Bring our girls back.
All righty. Thank you. All right. I tell you what, we're up against a short break, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. We are in the midst of our spring pledge drive. We need those tax-deductible pledges coming in. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. And then we have special, very, very special guests this morning. I have two guests, but I have a third one that's just very, very, very special. She is one of the babies of my show. One of the babies of my show. I used to hear when we were over in the antebellum house over there on at San Jacinto as a little bitty baby, a little girl. They were all in Dr. Edwards' school, and she was one of the ones. She is his daughter. And we'd like to say good morning to Mrs. Soki. Good morning.
Good morning.
All righty. She's her daddy over. She looks just like him. She acts like, and now you're a physician like your father.
I am.
All righty. Did you always want to be like daddy?
I did not. Interestingly enough, I did not.
Good, you didn't have that desire at a young age, because they usually burn out when it's
when I saw just how hard my dad had to work, I said, I don't know if I wanted to do that. And he taught me how to negotiate when I was about 8 years old. And so I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And I looked into it. He said, well, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. I just want you to have a career. So looked into law. I said, maybe it's not for me. Then I thought I wanted to be a food critic. Mm-hmm. Then I figured that probably couldn't support my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And when I was in high school, I went to Cedar Hill High School, by the way, class of 2005. Mm-hmm. When I was probably sophomore, I was in an anatomy course, and I had an 89, and I wanted an A. So half the class had the same grade I did, and we were just like, we want our A, you know. And so my teacher is actually coming to my graduation party today. Mm-hmm. Mrs. Jerry Salazar had started Health Occupation Students of America Club. Mm-hmm. So, you guys, we're having a meeting after school. If you come, I'll give everybody extra credit point. So I thought I was going to get extra credit. Next thing I knew, I was chapter president. We were organizing all these community service projects, competing in all of these local and regional competitions, about medicine. And I just fell in love with it, and I saw why my dad fell in love with it.
You didn't realize you had it naturally in your blood.
I found a picture the other day with me holding my dad's stethoscope, like on his head or something. So it was always in the blood. It just took me a while.
This came to you naturally.
Yes.
Well, you should have known that. You should have known that. And you had your graduation on last night? Yesterday
morning.
All righty.
Yes.
Were you happy to get that degree?
It was, it was kind of bittersweet. You spend so much time in school, you sacrifice so much of your social life and your personal life. Mm-hmm. And so when that day comes, you're like, wow, like, is it really here? Like, It still kind of feels surreal. Like, I'm excited, but I'm just like, I don't really know if I'm really a doctor yet, but I know I am. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of a surreal feeling.
Are you going to practice here in Dallas? Or are you going to go off and leave?
I don't know. I know for residency, I'm going to Jersey City, New Jersey, to complete a family medicine residency at CarePoint Health, Christ Hospital. It's an unopposed inner city family medicine program.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the area and the large amount of people in that area, I feel like it would be great to go practice, or at least, during residency.
There's a whole lot of people in that area.
Is. I saw so
what
much
is it, about
pathology.
30 million?
I think it's 12 in New York City. Jersey City has a slightly smaller population. But
Jersey
so
City is
pathology.
just like the Trinity is from Dallas to Oak Cliff. You're in the same place. Just
much.
go over to George Washington Bridge or any of them.
Pretty much.
Right there. I
Ride
mean,
the fast
it's
train.
all together.
It is.
It's
It
all
is.
together.
We're excited. My husband and
Holland
I,
Tunnel.
we're young, so we said, why not?
Y'all gonna go up there? Do
Yes.
that. Well, that's an adventure.
It is. We're
That's
leaving
something-
tomorrow.
No, is that right?
Yes, we wanted to miss the Memorial Day
See,
traffic, and we
we're
knew
not
it would
gonna
take us
even
3 days.
Oh, y'all gonna drive?
Yes.
Okay, you take all your belongings and
We
go.
don't have that much.
Huh?
We're just getting a little Penske truck.
Oh, who gonna cry the most, your mother or your daddy?
My dad. My mom never cries. She didn't cry yesterday. I was really kind of surprised.
Ellen, you didn't cry.
No.
Got everything done. So I'm happy now.
My dad, my husband, and I are the only people who cry. And my brother, he'll cry too, but she won't cry.
Well, it's so nice. It's so nice that you're embarking upon a career, a life that you can do a lot of good. You're going to do. Now, Jersey City, I've been there several times, and I'm very familiar with it. You're not going to, what would be something the total opposite up there in that area? Well, you're not going to Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
You're going to Jersey City.
Right.
You're going to an area that you're going to be challenged in many ways just to really help people help themselves. And I'm very proud that you would go and select an area like that, because I'm sure y'all could go there on up to Boston at Martha's Vineyard and all up there. You're on the world stage because you have a medical degree. You're on the world stage. But you chose an area that really where you are definitely needed. You're definitely needed. Why did y'all choose that?
So, pretty much for me, I've always seen my dad in an inner city setting. I've noticed that mostly African Americans and Latinos are in those areas. Because of that, my whole goal, I guess, ever since I joined the Student National Medical Association, Student National Medical Association, has been to diversify the face of medicine. We don't have enough doctors out in our community who look like us. And so because of that, there's a slight disadvantage that I will say is present. And so because of that, I chose to go to an area where there was a lot of pathology so that I would learn a lot. But then also where there's a bunch of diversity. When I first went to Boston in the summer of 2004, when I was in high school, my eyes completely, everything just changed. My eyes opened. I said, wow, there's so much more outside of Dallas, And so because of that.
That's a great world out there.
It is. And so because of that, I wanted to go to an inner city area, but I also wanted to go to a program that only had family medicine residents. When you go to a program where there's surgery and internal medicine and obstetrics, gynecology, all of those people in the same hospital, it's hard for family medicine residents to really get the pick of everything. So it was really kind of perfect for me based on my career goals as well as the community I wanted to serve.
How important has it been for your father to be in your life?
I think it's been priceless. A lot of women grow up not knowing they have a dad who loves them. My dad always made that known. And, when I first got to high school, my parents they would always be mad at me because they say, no, you can't go to this party. And I say, why? And so they say, they thought I was being disrespectful. And so after a sit down one time, I think it was like my sophomore year, and I said, you guys, I really want to know why I should not go to these parties so that when I get to college, I make the right decisions as well. It's been really important to have a dad there. I mean, he showed me how I was supposed to be treated. And, my husband treats me the same way. He knows that if he does not treat me right, Travis G.
So in other words,
to have
Jersey City. To have a father in your life that respect you, respect your mother, love your mother, and everything, you felt like that was that helped you to make the right decision about a mate yourself.
Yes, it did. It was very, very instrumental.
Very instrumental.
Yes.
Doc, when we see young ladies seem like make so many bad decisions, you think that role modeling has not been there to show them what a real man is really like?
Yeah, I think you're right on point. We've got in America there are strategic plans that go diametric to where we're trying to go as men. We have a lot more challenges. We're always kind of in the back of the bus, so to speak. Educational wise, we're not promoted except other than entertainment, athletic, sports, and so we end up being a product of our environment. And of course, when you and I were coming up, that was standard barrier to have a dad, and to get pregnant was almost like was a cardinal sin. And now it's actually being celebrated. So there are some dynamics that prevent us from being the type of men that we can be. But after I closed our ministry, I made sure that I was at her school 3 to 4 times a week, looking out, because that was my investment. And so I took that time, my wife and I took that time to make sure that we were there to nurture her until she was able to.
And Soka she didn't like to see y'all come up there. She didn't like that. Soka, did you like it?
You know what? It didn't really bother me because I knew I wasn't doing anything wrong. When I was in high school, I was really a nerd. I had my couple little friends that I had, but I wasn't allowed to go to parties and hang out. I wasn't allowed to date or anything like, which was great. And honestly, looking back, for a short while, I was kind of like, I don't know why I can't do anything. All of my friends are having fun. And looking back, I have several friends, who had children before they got married, or people who really just didn't do much with themselves. And I'm glad that my parents kept that standard. I'm glad that I had that accountability. I think that made a huge difference, within growing up.
Let me tell you something, Soki. The way they raised y'all, that used to be the way the typical girl was raised in our community. Yep. This stuff, what you're seeing, all these things that you're seeing happening now, this is basically new. Girls used to just didn't run free and blasé around, and it's just that they had some good old-fashioned values that was really true values that really will help pay. You're being paid off right now for being obedient, but you're also receiving some blessings that you got from them that hopefully you'll carry on to the next generation.
Of course.
For our children, and we don't have enough children being raised in homes like this anymore. It's such a sad situation. It's sad, and when you go, things like that, I'll be honest, breeds poverty. It breeds poverty.
There's a statistic that I was reading the other day that 70% of African American children between the years of 2000 and 2010 were born into single parent homes, single mother homes.
70%?
70%.
Oh, I read one the other day. Now it has risen to 81%. I hope it's wrong, but it was in a very respectable news magazine. And how can we climb out of our situation, out of poverty, disdainment, and we're killing one another? You take a city like Chicago, the murder rate sometimes over a weekend, you can have 30 to 50 people killed on the streets of Chicago. I'm talking about African American people now. I'm not talking about anybody else. How can we pull ourselves out of that with this situation? And I see this. That's the reason why I wanted you all on, because I don't care if people getting upset about what we're saying. It's the truth. If you don't raise your children right, they're not going to grow up right. I mean, if you don't water your lawn, your St. Augustine, Bermuda, or whatever it is, it's going to die. Mm-hmm. It's going to die. So when we see stories like this, I want everybody to hear it, because this is a story that it just makes me feel so good when you and Ellen and I used to march them little kids in there on my show years ago. And we have a success story. A child has been grown on and finished college, gone to medical school, finished medical school, on her way to practice. And it's something that I feel like every child can do if given an opportunity. And your opportunity don't begin in the classroom. Nope. It begins at home.
Oh, that's right.
That's where your opportunity begins. And y'all have done a great job giving her such a great opportunity. Doc, you grew up in a family of educators, did you not?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How were they?
Well, my grandfather was the principal of the school, and my father was he taught Spanish and math. Okay. And my two sisters, got three sisters, and all of those graduated here in.
Hold that thought. We're up against a short break. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. I promise y'all, next segment when I come back, I will take some calls. All righty. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Our special guest this morning is Soki Edwards, Dr. Drevers Edwards, his wife Ellen Edwards. A success story, a positive story, a story that has KNON written all over it, because Soki was a baby on this show and a part of it, and she's gone on to finish medical school and about to go into practice. It makes me feel so good this morning to be able to get on with something positive. But I do have to raise some money. I need to raise some money. 972-647-1893. Dr. Edwards is one of my biggest contributors. He's one of our top contributors. He and Ellen have contributed over the years to this show to keep us on the air. And Soki, always loved my theme song. It's time to make a change. All right. But I need some money coming in. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. And many of you listening, y'all have success stories. All of the children aren't bad. All the children hadn't gone astray. But we still have to remain vigilant, because too many have. The percentages of them going astray is much higher than it once was. Much higher. You've always had some great kids in our community. Great kids. It used to be the failures were the outcasts. Now they seem to be, the dominant ones are now in our community. And this has to change if we're going to move forward as a people. Things that used to have stigmas on them now is a badge of honor. We cannot rise as a society and as a nation with people doing some of the things that they're doing and not taking time out to raise their children, just having them and allowing them to grow like weeds. It just don't work. I don't know if that callers are still there. 972-647-1893. See if they call us still there, because they've had to wait so long. All right. Is he still there? All right. Okay. Bring him. Bring the callers on the air. All right. And his name is. Good morning to Dennis. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Barnett, this is Dennis. I'm the guy who did over 25 years in prison.
Yes.
This past May the 3rd, I moved into a one bedroom apartment right here off of Munger, and I was trying to find out if anybody can help me out, right, with a bed or something. I don't have anything in my apartment, right? It's empty.
Okay. All right, Dennis. I tell you what. We're gonna let you talk to my producer and leave your number. We see can we get you a bed. If anybody out there have a bed that they're not using, we can connect. We'll be able to connect you up. You say you did 25 years in prison.
Over 25. I've been out about almost 2 years now.
All right. How old were you when you went to prison?
I was like 28 and I got out when I was like 55 when I got out.
Okay, yeah, you did over 25 years.
Right.
Had you had a life of violence?
No, sir. I went down for a burglary case and escape out of Dallas County Jail.
Okay. All right. I tell you what, 972-647-1893. If you got a bed, anyone listening, I'm sure a lot of you have, an extra bed that you could allow Dennis to have, we're going to get his number and everything and connect you and get Dennis a bed. Here's a young man that needs a bed. He needs a bed. 972-647-1893. Call us if you can help Dennis out. All right, we thank you for your call. Back to you. You grew up in Cedar Hill, right?
Yes, sir. We live downtown Dallas now.
Mm-hmm. But you went to Cedar Hill High.
Yes, sir, I did.
There were a lot of children around you. There were a lot of affluent children around you also, who was in close to your bracket, not in your bracket. How did y'all matriculate through Cedar Hill High? What was it like?
I mean, going through it, we had some great teachers. It was academically, it was excellent. There were teachers who would push you. They didn't let you slack off. It was pretty much the same experience that I had throughout college and even medical school. They were there because they wanted to be there. Mm-hmm. I've seldomly encountered teachers who didn't want to be there and didn't care about the students. Mm-hmm. And my principal, Mr. Lincoln Butler, really put it in.
Lincoln Butler?
Yes,
I know.
Yes, he came to my wedding. He came to my. I actually stay in contact with him and his wife all the time. Mm-hmm. And he set the bar for education. He said, we have kids to put out into this workforce, and they want to become something when they get older. Mm-hmm. And so I was academically challenged, and I was really glad I had to negotiate with my parents to even get to high school, because I was homeschooled previously. Mm-hmm. And I said, you guys, I need to get more social interaction.
How old were you when your father and mother had their school open? How old were you?
I think it was between, I was 6 to about the time I was 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm. So you went your first, fourth, fifth grade in private school?
Yeah, till about 4th or 5th grade.
And then you were homeschooled?
Yes.
And do you think that homeschooling and the private school helped you in the public school system?
Somewhat. I think on the academic level it did, but on the social level I still had skills to develop. I remember they were so terrified about me trying to go to high school, and I said I have to do it. Like, I can't go to college campus and not know how to interact with people but be super smart. Mm-hmm. And they, I made presentations, and my dad was like, I'm tired of hearing about this.
All right. But now, is homeschooling, it can be good academically, but do you think, would you homeschool your child?
No.
You wouldn't do it?
No, sir.
Can't develop social skills well enough?
It's tough to do that. They have, homeschool associations and things like that, but I think as an African-American physician who wants to have children who can relate to any type of person, I feel like my parents did that for me. By by them providing me the opportunity to go to high school, I feel like I can interact with anyone. And I feel like I don't feel awkward around anyone, if that makes sense. So no,
yes.
So I definitely wouldn't homeschool my children. Now I probably have them go to a magnet school, possibly, but I think high school was invaluable as far as social aspects. And I think once I got to college, I knew why my parents shielded me from a lot of things. Everything just kind of clicked all at once. And I remember I called my mom because, she's like, Mom, can I go? Somebody's having a party. She's like, no. If you go, I'll take you, and I'm going to talk to the parent.
What did you do your undergrad work?
I went to Texas Southern University. I'm class of 2009.
Okay, you might have been there when my baby daughter's there. She finished from TSU. I think she finished in, 5 or 4, somewhere along there. And she's done very, very well. They just built she and her husband just built $1 million house. So they're doing very well. And she doesn't have children even yet. It has, I see such a correlation that I had never thought about in all the years of growing up of how a father's influence. We talk about boys need a father. Girls need a father also. A man is a very strong influence in a young lady's life. Sometimes I'm beginning to wonder maybe it's more toward the girl because, that hard head's going to do what he want to do almost anyway. But he'll become a knucklehead sometime. But it's just so much that can be done. And I tell you what, I'm not leaving mother out. Ellen, you can come on up. You can come on up if you want to. Because I know who also was very tough and strong in that household, too. Now, how did you do this? What role were you playing in your daughter's life?
Well, first of all, I always tell everyone, before my husband and I got married, we had a plan. A lot of people just get married. They don't have a plan for their life. We had a plan that whether I worked or not, we lived on his income. So when I was working for the government, that was great. But when we decided that it was time for me to come home, which we had a plan to do, everything worked out. So he provided so that I could have this opportunity to be there to manage my home and take care of everything in my home and take care of my children.
All righty. So you think stay-at-home mothers are still needed?
Well, they're needed, but, it's really a shocker because, I had a career, education, and all of that. And when I came home, I was sitting there thinking, oh, my God, what did I do? Because society makes you think it's wrong. But you have the one, if you look at the homeschool children, they're really are above, they get the nurture. You get to give your children what you want them to be in life. Other people, when you send them out, they give them their life. You see what I'm saying? Because they're with them all the time. So we wanted our children to be a certain way, so therefore we made that decision that we would train them as well.
And obviously it has definitely paid off. It's definitely paid off. But when we see that a lot of families cannot afford to live on one salary, God bless y'all where y'all could. What would you say about the mother that really has to get out and go to work?
Well, it's really hard. First of all, it's going back to our teenage girls, and I will continue to say this. As long as the government keep providing them an opportunity, the young men and the women, to have the children that they don't have to pay for, that, taxpayers have to pay for the children, pay for the milk, pay for the diapers, and all that kind of stuff, it's going to always be a problem. But if you have a mother that works, there's a weekend, Sunday afternoons, Saturday afternoons. You spend that time with your children, and this is just something you have to do. I mean, I talk to mothers all the time, and I sit down and work out a plan. So on Saturday afternoons, then go to the store and buy some books. Before your child get to kindergarten, they need to know their name, address. I mean, they need to know some things. And if we turn off the TV and take some of this time away from the sports, our children can learn, but we put all that effort into sports, all the activities, the TV, and all that kind of stuff. So, and therefore, our children don't learn. Jessica was reading at age 3. At age 5, she could read her father's medical books. I took her to Knon Japanese math and reading. And no matter how you say my child is smart, they don't care. They take them back to the first part. I mean, you have to work your way up through them. If you go fast, that's good, you know it. But they're plugging in all the holes. And that's what happens to our children in public school. They continue to pass, and then when they get to 11th and 12th grade, they can't pass the test. And then, the parents are ready to fight.
In fact, y'all taught Japanese in y'all school, didn't you?
Yeah, we taught Japanese, German, Russian, Latin, and French, I think. Yeah, just, basic things so that they could get accustomed to those. And he taught them all the bones of the body. My husband took time from his practice to come to the school, and he taught medical terminology to these children. And they knew all the bones of the body, the circulation of the heart, the muscles, all that stuff. He taught them at that age.
How old were they when they learned that?
From grades 4 through
they were 4 years old.
8th grade. Yeah, those are the levels that we had. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they had to make.
And they picked up on that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on Wednesday, what I did is I went and I taught chapel, and then I taught medical terminology.
Yes.
So the terms I was using in my practice, they knew it at the school. So they were not afraid. Jessica's not the only doctor that's come out of there. There's another one that graduated. Donna graduated last year, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah, there were several doctors. There's several that's waiting to get in med school right now that came through the school. So there was a foundation, and let me tell you what I think that you and I can agree on, Dr. Barnett, is there was several things that was expected of us when we were kids. There were high expectation,
definitely so,
hard work, and no apologies for success. So what our parents expected.
Could you hold 1 second right there?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I see happening now. Any child seems to want to excel and do things in life. They have to be very apologetic for it. They have to be ashamed of being intelligent. Where did that come from? How did that sneak into our society? That did not used to be a part of our culture. I'm thinking, when did that start? It's okay. Where maybe it came when you came along when you were in school.
I mean, it was funny because when I was in high school and even some parts of college, you get teased when you say, hey, I have to study. I'm not about to go out with you guys. A lot of kids who are insecure, they don't have that foundation of academic security. They feel like they can target children who are actually academically secure. I remember one time when I was in college.
Do they try to bully them or something or what?
I mean, not even, I remember a girl asked me to do her homework for her in an English class. I'm like, no, I'm not doing your work. I have enough stuff on my plate, And she tried to get some girls to approach me, and I was like, look, I don't know any of you guys. I'm about to call my daddy. I'm not about to fight you. I'm trying to, and
they wanted to fight?
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
she told them
bullying.
Well, and so part of that is, this happened years ago, but part of that is when people are not academically secure, they target those who are. And they feel like because you think that you're better than them because you won't help them. Now, there's not a problem with helping people, but I'm not going to do your work for you. You know what I mean?
You can advise them on, give them how to work certain problems or do certain things. But this bullying tactic is somehow, it has seemingly gotten out of hand with children who are academically advanced. And really, most of the kids that are academically advanced, at a certain age, it has to come from parents. I'm going to tell you why. I own a daycare. I've got some of the smartest little bitty babies in the world at 2 years old. I've had them at 2 years old. One wasn't quite 2, could say all 66 books of the Bible.
Wow.
But by the time they reach a certain age, the influence from the environment, the home, and everything, all of that was gone. Instead of trying to advance these kids, their minds was full of mess. We don't seem to realize how important the home is, the home environment, until we get this change. I'm telling you, these were some smart little children. And most of our children are smart. They can catch on anything they want to. But it's not advanced. They put something else in their children rather than putting the right things in there that's going to allow them to be successful.
Well, you understand this, Reverend Barnett. Everybody has the same capacity to learn.
Yeah, could you talk to him one more time? I'll tell you what, we got to go into hour 2, and we have not raised any money today, because, I've got to raise some money now. 972-647-1893. We're talking with the Edwards family, and we'll be right back for hour number 2. All right, we're in hour number 2. On Church Information and Open Forum, I'm Marion Barnett, your host. Liv is producing, and we have the Edwards family with us, but we need some money coming in. You've done very well the last 2 weeks, especially first week, good last week, but we haven't raised any money today. 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Come on. 972-647-1893. We have a positive show on today, a positive show, a program that can inform you, people that are good role models, good parents, good citizens, intelligent, educated people that really, I know of no doctor that has ever been committed to our community like Dr. Travis Edwards. I know of no doctor. He was doing something that had been gone 50 years when he was doing it. This man was making house calls, going to people's homes, taking care of the elderly, indigent, helping people in many ways. I would go into his office and go by there. I see as many white people in your office. I see black folk. You were helping everybody, every ethnic group, everybody. They came to you. And I've never seen a physician that was more into the people than you were. I've never seen one as much was into the people as you were. And you are still a physician, still helping people. So 972-647-1893. We need some money to come in. I know you're saying, no, I don't have it. I'm broke. I'm busted right now. You have 90 days to pay it. You can do it by credit card. We have a million different perks in you that you can ask for. Caps, aprons, everything. Just a lot of different things. We need that money to come in. 972-647-1893. We need the tax-deductible pledge coming in. And I'm so glad we have a child, a baby of this show. She was a baby. She used to come up here. And they used to come up and recite. He would have the kids. And they would bring them by, and those out of the school, they could speak different languages, and they would tell me good morning in all so many languages. I didn't know what they were saying to me, but it was a fantastic school. Fantastic. Really, maybe one of the best schools, if not the best, ever been in this area. And but she did finish public high school and have done well. Done very well. Very, very. I'm so proud of her. I don't know what to do. I'm proud of her like she's my own. And she is a child of this particular program, a child of this show that have been, what years was that when y'all had your school, Dr. Evans?
It was, 1995 to 2000.
Man, that's been almost 20 years ago.
Well, 1995, yeah.
That's 19 years.
Yeah.
Wow, it don't seem like it's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow. That's something. But we do need some money. Come on. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call.
But can I say this? Mm-hmm. I don't, it may or may not be relevant, but we have to also encourage people who do good things as well. A lot of times our people don't encourage people who are doing well. In other words, we have to also encourage you. We have to encourage people who are doing the good things as well. A lot of times we think, well, because they've seemingly made it, quote unquote, they don't need encouragement, but we need encouragement. I say that a lot of times in the emergency room because, I work there. And I tell the patients, we need encouragement too as doctors. We need encouragement as nurses. Even though we're in a position, you have to encourage us as well. We don't just act like that nothing has happened. So we have to continue to encourage those who are not doing as well, and we have to encourage those who are doing well.
That's right. Everybody needs encouragement.
Needs encouragement.
It's all right to stroke people every once in a while. It's all right. Yeah, that's very much so. When we see how things are coming out now that seem to have been hidden down for a few years, now that we have an African American president, people just can't hide their real feelings anymore, and a lot of things are coming out, and a lot of people seem to be surprised, although I'm not surprised. I knew they were already there. We're going to have to be more vigilant now than we were, say 20, 25 years ago, because things Jessica is going to have, you're going to have a challenge. You're going to have a challenge in medicine. Doc, what kind of challenges you feel like she's going to have, as well as anybody?
Yeah, well, she's actually, because you've actually been at the forefront of some of the challenges I've had in practice, and so she actually was in the midst of all of that, doing most of the charts and the graphs and so forth. So she's actually seen that being a Hispanic or African American physician, that there are some challenges. There are some challenges from our government that she's going to have, from the Department of Health and Human Services and Medicaid and Medicare, that she's well aware of. That they can be rather vicious for no reason. So she understands that the healthcare regulators, the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical industry, the hospital industries, they all kind of work in tandem together, and they can be very vicious toward good practitioners who have no other motive than to take care of patients. And one of the things that I've instilled in her, that everybody's important, and that it's a privilege to serve, to be a physician. It's a privilege to give service to those patients that need the care, and they have a right to receive it. And so,
when someone come to you, they're actually putting their life in your hands.
Basically, they're saying, I don't know what to do. Can you help me based upon your training? Can you get my life back to a standard by which I can move on and be a productive citizen? That's what they really come to you for. And if you have good bedside manners, if you are very good at what you do, you don't have to go and put it on a public announcement. They go and tell everybody in town how good you are and how much you care, because that's really what patients really want to know. Do you really care enough that you will go to whatever extent that you can to make me a better, get my health condition in a better position? So I've preached that too, Jessica, that everybody's important, and that you treat everybody the same. You give them the best that you know, and that's the only thing that I've really pushed in this. And
there are a lot of new challenges that I've seen outside of even some of the things that my dad has gone through. At our medical school class yesterday, we graduated about 200, and there were only 6 African Americans in the entire class.
How many was in your class when you graduated?
75. It was 75, and I was the only one.
The only one.
1 out of 75.
Yeah, well, it was 300 on the campus, but I was the only one on the campus.
And so, you notice that, and this is another thing that I do want to say. As being a part of the Student National Medical Association for the last 3 years, which is America's largest body of students of color who are in medical school, got over 5,000 members. The thing that we lack the most is support at a lot of our campuses. You know, you walk around, you
what
don't see anyone who...
Financial or what?
No, I mean, just period, like support of people who look like you. There aren't enough, you know, African-American medical students in medicine. If you look at the numbers, we only make up 2.5 to 3% of the entire physician population. So because of that, you know...
but there are 35,000 Nigerian doctors here in America.
And they contribute to that number. But
you said African American, those who were born and raised in America.
No, I mean just period. Out of the entire number in medicine.
Is there a number for those who were born and raised here in America?
I think it would be a lot less than that. It would be a lot less than that.
So we're not going into medicine anymore.
So I mean so I will make a comment about this. I mentor a lot of pre-medical students from across, you know, the southern states. And I go speak at pre-medical conferences, and a lot of them are telling us that these pre-medical offices of people who are not physicians, who probably wanted to be doctors but weren't able to get there, are pushing a lot of our students to be physician assistants, nurse practitioners, or nurses. There's been a big push for that. There's been a big push for that. And so a lot of students... So
they, instead of going on and get the medical degree as a physician, they're pushed into another field.
Or, you know, I mean, and that's been a huge problem the last few years. Like, we've had to send letters to pre-medical offices and say, hey, you know, the Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students is here to help, you know, if they need seminars on campus or whatever. I've encountered so many students who have said that, you know, well, my pre-medical office said, you know, maybe I should consider being a nurse. There's nothing wrong with being a nurse or physician assistant. Everyone has a place in healthcare. But if you want to be a physician, there should not be this big push to send people away.
Kind of deter you from your dream.
It's a big problem in the South, too.
It is.
Huge problem.
Now, where you going there in Jersey City, would she not make more money if she went on in the New York City area? She went on up to the Hamptons rather than Jersey City? Would they Medicaid and all those different programs, would they not pay her more?
Well, I've not encouraged her to look at it from that standpoint. You have to live, you have to make a living, but you know, I've challenged the students, if this is what you want to do, make a lot of money, this is not the profession. This is not the profession that you should pursue to make a lot of money. Do they make a lot of money in this profession? Obviously they do, but that is not my goal. My goal is to render the care, and of course, you know, that it sounds like that. And of course, you know that, Reverend Barnett, I've treated a lot of people that never made a dime from it. So it's not that's not. But my thing is that we've got the health disparities that we see, the heart disease, the cancer, the diabetes, the infant mortality rates, and longevity, the cancer rates and so forth. We want to reduce those. Those are, and you're going to have physicians to do that. The people who understand how to treat disease processes and so forth. So, yes, she can make a lot of money, but I hope that doesn't cloud her vision about the real purpose of medicine, and that is to care for people, improve their quality of life, and because you know you should get paid, but if you don't really worry about it.
Why are we so large now? We as people. Why are we so large? Why human beings are so... See, you're not old enough to remember. Human beings shouldn't be this big.
You know, I mean, part of the problem, I mean, you look at our areas. If you go to Oak Cliff, you go to, you know, East Dallas, West Dallas, those grocery stores don't have the quality of the produce. That's, you know, you see some of the fruit there, you're like, I don't want to eat that. And it's cheaper to get a Big Mac than it is to get a salad.
I had a doctor, as late as yesterday down in Houston, told me, my biggest problem is I eat in restaurants. He said, because everything you eat out of that restaurant comes out of a can. And something about canned food is not as good as, even it's not as good as frozen food.
Well, it's processed, okay? And the way you can preserve something is you got to add some preservative to it for it to be preserved. Those preservatives are not acclimated for your body.
Right.
Okay, so they got the salt, they got the aspartames and all that preservative. That's not your body. You can't handle it.
Well, anyway, he told me God did me a favor. He shut my body down and took 35 pounds off me. Now I have moderated, kind of growing back up 1 or 2 pounds. But so the type of food I was eating, it was not turning into energy. It was not going into my cells or whatever it was. Somehow he explained it and showed me. Change your diet, you change a whole lot of things about you. Are we up against the break? I tell you what, come on, send us some money in 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. If you'd like to talk with them this morning, 972-647-1893. Never seen my lines blank before. But I think, in fact, I know you're listening this morning. We'll be right back. All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. If you'd like to talk with the Edwards family this morning, you'd like to encourage their Soki to go forth in life and do things. Yeah, her name is Jessica also, but I think his Soki is so pretty. Just call in 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893. Something positive, someone that's on their way. And many of you have children, if they haven't graduated now. Most colleges have had their graduation. What's today? About the 17th? Most colleges, not all, but most have had their graduation. High school graduations are coming up. Baccalaureates and different things like this are coming up. And we'd like to encourage all young people to go forth and do some great things, do good things with their life. Just be somebody, be something, do something with your life. God has given us such a grand opportunity in life. So 972-647-1893, calling in encouraging our young people. Give us the name of your young person. Give us their names. You got a graduate coming up. Yes, 972-647-1893. You're going to be so proud and so cheering, and it's a joyous occasion. Some principals and educators get angry when the crowd get so loud, but I love it because you've seen this child come to this world, you've seen this child grow up, you've seen the child struggle to make it. Now they're reaching a milestone in life. It's a time to be joyous. It's a time to be happy. I bet y'all were happy yesterday. You were a proud papa yesterday, weren't you?
Well, two things that happened today. 34 years ago, I graduated from med school.
Is that right?
And my mother, who was 91, was there yesterday to see.
Was she there?
She was there, so she saw me graduate 34 years ago, and then she saw
was she
her.
Strutting?
Yeah, and so it was really a great occasion to do that, and so we were happy. You're always happy to, at least I am always happy to see success. I really love success. I love to see successful people, and so it was a great day, and so you're right, Reverend Barnett.
Well, it's there are certain points in life, achievement. Opportunity is not going to knock on your door every day. It's going to be some times in life that you're going to have that opportunity, and you need to dive on it, or grab it, hold on to it, don't let go, and go forward in life. 10 years from now, it's okay, where you hope to be?
10 years from now, I hope to be a mom. I hope to have made a difference in the community where I practice medicine during residency, and finally, I hope to be established in a career that I'm doing what I love, which is inner city medicine. I interviewed at a couple of rural programs where was mostly, a Caucasian population. And I walked away saying, I really can't help anybody in this area. It's so interesting, and I love telling this story. I was, in February, I rotated at Oklahoma State University College of Osteopathic Medicine for an emergency room rotation. So it was an older black lady coming, she's 80 years old, looked like she's about 65, black don't crack. So she comes in and she says, my head hurts. So, we rule out the most negative things. And she said, well, it started hurting after I brushed my hair. I said, what kind of brush do you use? Turns out she was using like a brush with really hard bristles on it.
Closer to a rake, huh?
Yeah, closer to a rake. And so I ended up, pulling out my phone and showing her what kind of brush to buy. I said, hey, go to Walmart, go to Walgreens, buy the type of brushes that they have with the covers on them. And so I went back in, and so my preceptor was just dumbfounded. He said, so there was nothing like medically wrong with her, she just used the wrong brush? I said, yes. And so there are certain things that people don't understand that I can understand, as someone, who's an African American.
Yeah. I know you love your people. And I'm so proud of you of that. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to line 2 and say good morning to Reverend Ron Wright. Good morning, Reverend Wright. Is he there?
He was just there.
How did we lose? Is it? Yeah, he's there. Yeah, I heard him. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor. How you doing this morning?
Fine. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good. Congratulations, Dr. Evans, and your wonderful family.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Wright.
That's a prime example, Pastor, when you talk about the black family that's not been attacked. Dr. Evans was a strong man.
Every time we're together, it comes up because when we see something, we realize our man could have made a difference in that situation.
You better believe it. You better believe it. And that's our problem now. There are no men in the homes, and that's why we're going through what we're going through. But we've got to take back what the devil stole from us. And Dr. Evans is a pastor. He knows it's a tough fight. But I want to also update you, Pastor. Today at 12 noon, there Justice Seekers, along with a couple of organizations, are honoring Marvin Crenshaw and Roy Williams. This is the anniversary of the 14K1, where they fought years ago for the 14 seats in the city council. It's going to be at Martin Luther Kingston at 12 noon. And they wanted me to pass that on to you as well.
Okay, at 12 noon, you're going to honor Roy Williams and Marvin Edwards. Marvin Crenshaw. Yeah. All right, today at the King Center.
At 12 noon.
12 o'clock noon. I'll definitely be there. I'll be there.
All right. Thank you very much. Doc, we haven't forgot about you. What a lot of people don't know, you are a great doctor, but we've got some issues that we need to deal with, and hopefully, by the grace of God, we'll get a district attorney in this year that'll be willing to sit down and talk to you and help you resolve that issue that you've been dealing with for the last 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years.
Well, I tell you what, you're talking about a great, not just a physician, he's a great person, because it took a great person to come out there. In West Dallas, this was January 1990, when we took a lot of homeless people and put them in the housing project, and a lot of those people had all kind of problems, physically ill. A lot of them were physically, a few were mentally ill, but physically ill. Doc came out there and served those people for free, and didn't ask for a dime. He helped and did things. He was somebody we could call on when one of the people was sick. Dr. Edwards was already, all I have to do is just give him a call. So, we have to honor people like this that have really helped our community and didn't get a dime monetarily out of it. I'm sure he got other things out of it, but not a dime monetarily. All right. Thank you, Doc. All right.
All right. Thank you, Doc. I'll see you today.
All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Junior. All righty. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine.
Yeah, I wanted to say congratulations to the young lady. I think her name is Jessica.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and to the parents. It's always good to hear that a plan and action comes together.
Thank you, sir.
I work with physicians and payers all the time.
Cut your radio down. We're getting some feedback. Cut it back.
Okay, I don't have it on.
Okay, I guess it's in our phone system. All right, go right ahead.
And I wanted to make sure that when you get around those positions out there, you're going to hear a whole lot about President Obama and the healthcare system. Just don't get disencouraged. Stay encouraged, stay encouraged, stay encouraged. If you ever need any assistance, I know your parents will take great care of you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Thank you much. We appreciate it, dear.
Oh, thank you for that call. Great call. Thank you. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. When we see young ladies, what's the percentage of female doctors?
I'd probably say we're about. Do you mean just female doctors, period, or African American?
African American female doctors versus
I'd probably say
males. Which one is the more?
I'd probably say about half. It's about half and half these days.
Yeah.
So I'd say out of all of the physicians in America, we probably comprise about 1.5%.
And you all
Can you help?
Let's see. 1.5. So we have as many black female physicians as we have.
In the last few years, there's been
it's been a big rise. There's been a decrease in the male application.
Yeah, I was grown before I ever saw a female doctor.
My class was 60-40. We had 60% females, 40% males.
You got to be kidding. I don't. What's happening? I don't know. I'm just so happy you made it. I'm happy you made it. But we used to. It used to be that every little community, every town had a doctor. You know, he would serve his areas. We had all kinds of things that were going on, and you could call your doctor, and the doctor would come out to your house, and that visit would be $7.50. That's what they call $7.50. And that was a long time ago. But they would come to your home.
Sure.
Because one of the reasons we weren't allowed in the hospital.
The public hospital, that's true.
Did you know that? It's okay that we used to couldn't go into these hospitals that you see now?
Yeah, I realized that. And, growing up, I saw my dad as, doing house calls. I used to go with him sometime. He'd say, come on, you're going with me today. I want you to see how blessed you are.
You went with Daddy?
Yeah, I went with him on a couple of house visits.
How was it?
It was really an experience. I think when you get a chance to, see a patient in their home and you get to see their setbacks, things that, with elderly people especially, seeing some of the risks that they have, fall risks and, the fact that maybe their children don't help them as they should. You really become appreciative for what you have, and that also makes you want to serve even more because you see, wow, I can't get upset with this patient if they can't fill their prescription. I don't have anybody to take them to the doctor. Makes you a lot more sensitive to patient socioeconomic issues. And so I've definitely planned to do house calls myself.
All right, okay. Let's go back to our phone line. Let's go to line 1 and say good morning to Janice. All righty. Good morning, Janice. Hello? Is Janice there?
She was there.
All right, okay. Let's go to line 2 and say, what is this, avocado?
Avocado.
All right. Avocado, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. God bless you all. I'm over here hearing the show, and you guys got a good show going on. It sounds pretty good, and I think, I think you did a good job there.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. You have any questions? Questions for Dr. Edwards or any his daughter?
Well, all I got to say, you guys giving out some good advice to people, and I really appreciate it. And and I'm getting a lot out of hearing you guys talk.
All righty.
Well, thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you guys have a good morning now.
All right, you do the same.
Thank you.
All right, God bless y'all.
God bless
God bless you. All righty, 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893 is that number to call. What hospital you say you were being in Jersey?
Christ Hospital.
Christ Hospital.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. You're right next door to Elizabeth City, and that's
it's probably about 30 minutes away
from Elizabeth City.
Yes.
Jersey City is right. I know it's close to Newark.
Yes,
and
about
right
15 minutes.
Yeah, right across the river, and because Newark runs out there, you get Hoboken, then you go into the Holland Tunnel, then into New York City. You got some challenges before you, because you're talking about a condensed populated area. It's a melting pot. God knows how many different ethnic groups are there. You're going to have your work cut out for you.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to come back. Hopefully you come back to Dallas with all that experience, all that talent, and bring it back and allow us to enjoy some of that good work and all that has been taught to you in your life. What would be your greatest thing that you think you want to do in life with your medical degree?
With my medical degree, I think the greatest thing I want to do in life is to make a difference in my community. I do nothing more. I don't care how much I get paid. My parents always taught me to, live below my below my means. And I just really want to make a difference in the lives of my patients. I really feel like I want to diversify the face of medicine. I feel like I want to continue, to help African American pre-medical students or aspiring physicians get into medical school. I want to see more people who look like me in medicine. Part of the reason why I chose that particular residency program is there were all different colors of the rainbow. There were Asians, there were whites, there were blacks, there were Hispanics. It's just it was. Oh
yeah, up there that area, you're going to run into everybody on this planet.
The diversity was unparalleled, and so I would like to see more physicians get in. To this day, I've helped probably at least 15 African Americans get into medical school through advice and reading personal statements and things like that. And so that's pretty much, I think if I accomplish nothing more, that's really what I want to accomplish.
Are you proud of her, Doc?
Oh, yeah, I think she's made some, good choices.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think she's made some good choices. And, of course, she trusted our judgment when her judgment perhaps was a little bit different. But, I try to be, as open with my kids, where they could come to me and talk to me about anything. Of course, it was uncomfortable for me, but I'd have to talk about it. But versus letting somebody else tell her or what they thought. So I thought that was real important to be open with my kids. If they had issues, we would talk about it. And if they had their take on it, we could negotiate it. She learned to negotiate real early.
You taught her the business of medicine too. Ellen, are you proud of her? How do you feel?
I'm so proud. They say that I don't cry, but I've done all the hard work. I've done my part, and I'm just happy.
We both did, honey.
I know, but I'm just saying, while he was working, doing his job, I was doing my job. So I'm just very proud. And thank you for this opportunity.
All right, and I'd like to thank all of you. Thank you, and wish you well. We'll be praying for you that you do your very, very best. And may the Lord bless you and keep you. And we just know you're going to do a great job, and you've grown up into a great woman. You known you since I don't know how old you were. You're a little bitty girl then. Now look at you today. And may God bless you. All right?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you,
Reverend Barnett. You need to be commended too. You've been a real pillar. I mean, very few people would take the chance that you've taken on us and as a Edwards family. you need to be commended as well. There's no doubt about
bless
that.
you. Yeah, it's not every day you find good people that really care about people and has the wherewithal to help people. Sure. And we'll do it. All right, thank you all. I tell you what, we are going into our last segment, and I got to raise some money. 972-647-1893, 972-647-1893, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back on the last segment, and we need some money coming in. 972-647-1893. But the Edwards family is still here, and there are those who want to call in, want to speak to them, and wish them well. Let's go to line 4 and say, good morning. Excuse me, you're on KNON. Good morning.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Good morning.
I'm calling. I wanted to congratulate Jessica and Dr. Edwards and Mrs. Edwards on such a great accomplishment, a great job done. And I am so proud of them. And Jessica, going on to this great things in their lives. I just want to say I'm so happy for you all.
Well, I tell you, I'm so happy because when she walked in, I could only remember Jessica as a small child, and she walked in a full-grown woman. This is something. It just time passed so fast.
It does. I remember that she was small also, and I've been knowing Dr. Edwards and Miss Edwards for many years, and just as a small child. So this is wonderful. I was not aware that she was graduating. I want to congratulate you.
Thank you so
much.
And
also, I wanted to find out, I wanted to ask the question, what can we do to further diversify the medical field? I mean, this is really something that hits home. And when we go to different places, we go to different doctors, and I see very few black doctors also. So what can be done to further diversify? Is there anything that ordinary people can do to help in this situation? And I'll hang up and listen.
All right, thank you for your call.
Thank you for your call. Let me say this. Understand. Let me just give you a little historical background. The way the medical system, the industry is set up, all 98% of all medical schools get most of their funding from federal and state dollars. Okay, so we are paying into the system that is leaving us out. So what we're going to have to do, for instance, Parkland just built a $3 billion building. This is for people who are considered the cast out. We don't want them in the big, beautiful hospitals and so forth. So what we have to understand is that our representation will have to represent our dollars. And so if medical schools are graduating doctors who are practicing on the poor, uneducated, sickest people, and then they're taking their skills and going on over to the affluent area, we're leaving a gap in there, and we're going to have to start making some inroads to make sure that the hospital administrators know that we are not going to continue to graduate these very, very affluent doctors, and they practice in our poor neighborhoods and then get their training in our poor neighborhoods, and then they go and take their services to the more affluent neighborhood.
And our tax dollars is basically paying for
the medical school. Yeah, see, every medical student costs about $400,000 a year per medical student per year. The medical students pay about 5 to 10% of that. So when they come out,
could afford to pay $400,000.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the students can't pay it. So the federal dollars and tax dollars,
which are our tax dollars,
and even local here, we pay a hospital district tax and so forth.
Right.
But you go to Parkland, you're not going to see any African Americans for the most part on the staff running any of the major programs out there. So we have got to, our dollars will have to start speaking for us. That's one of the things we can do. I don't think our county commissioner understands how that works, or maybe he does, but he has promoted all of the things that Parkland has done. And of course, in South Dallas, if you take 75216, which is the highest diabetic zip code in Dallas County is 75216. We only have 2 doctors in there. There's 49,000 people, 2 doctors.
2 black doctors?
2 black doctors, and one of them is a foot doctor. So we are allowing this to happen because we don't really understand the dynamics of our dollar. Mm-hmm. So one of the things is we'll have to do is we're going to have to start to campaigning on that we want the representation in Oak Cliff where the dollars are being spent. We're educating these high, very expensive doctors, but they don't come back and put anything into our community. If you go
Should there be a requirement, if you've gone to medical school and federal tax dollars or local whatever tax dollars period have helped pay for your education, shouldn't that be a requirement that they would return and spend some time in our community?
Well, the problem with that though is that this is a huge problem. I will say this: there is not enough graduate medical education slots. So for residency programs in the state of Texas where young physicians train.
I was in the biggest medical center. I spent the week in the biggest medical center in the world, Houston. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest medical center in the whole wide world. I saw maybe 3 or 4 African American doctors, but I saw a lot of other doctors who looked like from all other countries all over the world who our tax dollars pay for because they're going to school there.
That's correct.
Right.
And you said there's not enough slots.
There are not enough slots. Part of the thing, like what I wanted to say as far as diversifying the face of medicine, our students need more preparation. They need to know how to apply to medical school. What happens is a lot of our students take the medical college admissions test and they don't have the score that they need, but they apply to medical school anyway. Mm-hmm. And they don't get in. So a lot of them get discouraged and they quit. One girl, she's the new chapter president of our Student National Medical Association chapter on campus. I met her brother just randomly. He happened to be a black nurse out in Plano. I was doing a rotation there. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, my sister's, trying to get in. This is her second go round. She's thinking about quitting. I said, no, you give her my number and you let me talk to her. She did not quit, and now she's a first-year medical student.
Wow.
Part of that goes with giving back. Part of the issue that I think is not enough of our doctors are giving back to our community through mentorship, through sponsoring pre-medical scholarships. That is, that's a huge problem. Mm-hmm. It's expensive to apply to medical school. Mm-hmm. Had I not had my parents,
what is the name of the Black Association of Physicians?
The National Medical Association.
No, here locally is
C.B.
Romans Medical.
Yeah, and the National Medical Association.
Yeah.
Do they put a lot of money into getting scholarships for new students?
They give scholarships for medical students.
Yes.
There have been students from both my school, which is Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, as well as UT Southwestern, for scholarships. A couple of students that I've mentored have gotten scholarships. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I'd like to say is that UT Southwestern has done a commendable job in the last 2 to 3 years of recruiting minority medical students. Mm-hmm. They're giving them half tuition as well as full tuition scholarships to attend medical school.
But is this known? Do they publicize this in the schools or anything? How would a young person who would like to go into medicine, how would they find this out?
Well, many of the high schools and colleges have their, minority recruitment for medicine and so forth, but Reverend Barnett, what happens is that as Dr. Jessica Edwards just said, that we don't know how to apply. There's a way to do it, mm-hmm. and a proper way to do it that gives your chances a lot more. And so, versus getting discouraged and not putting anything else in. That's kind of where we are right now. And the deans of the medical students are not commendable or amenable to receiving a lot of African American. See, you got to remember that we are considered as caste. We've always been considered as caste, and that a lot of the medical students schools look at us as being affirmative action doctors. In other words, you wouldn't even be here if the government didn't give us money. We wouldn't even accept you. Okay, so
I had a classmate tell me that.
Yeah.
She told another minority student. She graduated with me yesterday, by the way, and she said the only reason Jessica's here is because of affirmative action. And you have lots of doctors.
This is one of the things we're going to have to talk about because we have been ostracized for centuries.
I had a professor tell me on Friday.
We're not allowed.
She said, "I've been waiting on you to graduate for 4 years."
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Do you think you were going to make it?
Of course not.
Okay.
And see, this is 2014.
Oh, yeah.
But deep down inside, really nothing's really changing in the hearts and minds of a lot of people.
What I'm saying is that there wouldn't be any African American or Hispanics in medical school if they were not getting the federal and state dollars. Every medical school, whether it's Dartmouth, whether it's Harvard, they all get their medical training from federal and state dollars.
One thing is also that I'd like to say is that the American Medical Association a few years ago passed a resolution that requires medical schools requires allopathic medical schools that produce MDs. I'm a DO. They require MD schools to have an office of diversity. They require that. Now, has that gotten us as much progress as we would like? Maybe not. But it's a requirement on campus. Those students have somewhere to go. They have people to talk to. They have support. And that's been a big step. We still have to take that step in osteopathic medicine. But, that's commendable, that they require that. You have to have an office of diversity. So those students over at UT Southwestern, they have that support. It's a full office for diversity. So when they get ready to need funding for conferences and different things like that, they have somewhere to go.
Well, I tell you what, it's a uphill climb to the bottom for us. I don't know. It seems like we lost ground. I don't know. Is Reverend Crenshaw still? Well, how much money? That's all right. Well, I'm sorry. We're going to have to do our job line. We don't have enough time to take calls anymore. Y'all wait till the end of the show and people want to talk. All right. Thank you again, Edward Swimmer. Thank y'all. All right. Okay. Thank you. Let me go to the job line and say good morning to Mr. Greg Barber. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing fine. And yourself?
Great. Any jobs out there?
There are some jobs out here this morning on our SAT job line. That's Solutions and Access Today's job line, brought to you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum. Here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Solar Turbines is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.solarturbines.com. Once again, that web address is www.solarturbines.com. That's SOLARTURBINES.com. Grange is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.experiencedone.granger.com. Once again, that's Granger is looking for customer service representatives. They're asking you to apply at www.experience.done.granger.com. Max Supply is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.dallas@maxsupplyinc.com. Once again, that's Max Supply is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.dallas@maxsupplyinc.com. UPS is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.ups.com. Once again, that's UPS is looking for warehouse representatives. They're asking you to apply online at www.ups.com. Lawson Jewell is looking for warehouse representatives. The number for inquiry is 866-748-8722. Once again, that's Lawson Jewell. That's LARSON. JUHL is looking for warehouse representatives. The number for inquiry is 866-748-8722. you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery after hard next offender trying to make the transition back to mainstream society and need assistance with job search, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Today is also an excellent day to make a pledge to church information in open form and follow through it. Today is also an excellent day to make a pledge to church information in open form and follow through it. And with that, we bring our SAT job line to a close.
All right. Thank you, Greg. Great job, as always. Mr. Greg Barber and our Solution in Action Today job line. We thank you. Thank you for doing all of that great work here in the community, Mr. Greg Barber. Tell you what, we're just about out of time. We got to get out of here. We got a couple of minutes. All right, let's go to a phone line, see if anybody, they probably hung up and gone by now. See if, Reverend Crenshaw, you there? No, he's gone. All the callers are gone. And we'd just like to thank you all for calling. Thank you for listening. And if you got some money, please, you got 90 days to pay that pledge. We need that money. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Call it in right now. It's not too late. Call in right now. There you go. Call it in. There you go. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. We need those pledges coming in. Please call them in. All right. He's on 3. We have any time left? All right. Come on. Bring him on. Good morning, Reb.
God bless you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning.
They're gone. All righty.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. You know, when we got sick during slavery, they didn't spend no money on us. Guess who worked on us? Veterinarian.
Yeah. And
then,
well, we were considered as just like a cow or a horse or a dog or whatever. We were shadow. Yeah.
No souls. We were animals. Then down in Houston, medical center of the world, Dr. Baker was based out of there.
Right.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
Great heart surgeon.
Yeah, well, we have to give Houston credit. They got the best medical center in the whole world, the biggest and everything. It's a great medical center. It's in Houston. So we have to understand that we need to be a part of this medical society. We need more African Americans in it. We need more to participate, and we need to put it out there. We'll start looking up scholarships in different ways that they can get monies to get into medical school and do well. So we're going to have to do our part of making sure that we push kids and promote them to go into medicine. It's a great field.
One other thing is that when you remember Dr. Christian Barnett in South Africa.
Yeah, I remember, but I'm completely out of time. Thank you, Reverend Crenshaw. Thank you. Thank all of you listening, all of you for calling. I'm the senior pastor of Heavenly Joy Church. We're located at Bruton and Masters. Come by. Service beginning at 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. Come by and see us. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.